Got a bunch of other headlines for you, and we're going to focus on the Kings' blue line because there's a lot of movement there. Last night they picked up Robyn Regehr, and we have now found out that Willie Mitchell is going to be out for the season, had that knee scope, so that's a big loss. He was a key stay-at-home piece for their Stanley Cup win last year.
That's right, and that tells, you know, when they go out and get a Robyn Regehr, what is he? A veteran stay-at-home type player, and Daryl Sutter had him for a long time in Calgary, so he's very familiar with the player. So they know what they're getting in Robyn Regehr. But Willie Mitchell, you know, last year he was an important part of things. The LA Kings, think about it, Steve. You were out following the LA Kings during the, the last couple rounds of the playoffs. Almost no injuries, right? They had almost the
perfect. It was never even a question.
Right, almost the same lineup night after night after night. That's the things that, you know, help you win a Stanley Cup, when you have good matchups and you can go through a playoff run without that many injuries. And you see this year, it just hasn't been the way for Willie. He's had a bad knee right from the start. He had surgery in the offseason, and now the word comes that he's done for the season. So sad to see that for Willie Mitchell, but Dean Lombardi very proactive. Talking to Daryl Sutter. They know Robyn Regehr, certainly Daryl does. They go out and get him, and he fills that kind of role as a veteran defensive defenseman. And Robyn Regehr has played a long time in this league, and he's not won a Stanley Cup. So maybe that gives the Kings, who are the defending champions, a little bit more reason to kind of be ready to go come playoff time.
Because the Kings had that perfect health last year. Not perfect, of course, players were banged up, we know that, but they really didn't lose any players.
Lose anybody.
Especially on the blue line. So Davis Drewiske, who was a depth defenseman for them, never really got a chance to get in the lineup, and we found out during the first hour of our show he was sent to the Montreal Canadiens. So a depth player there, and another stay-at-home guy, steady defenseman, he goes to the Habs.
And I think a nice move for the Montreal Canadiens. They don't have to give up much. They get a guy that was part of a Stanley Cup run. Now, he wasn't playing, you know, all that often because, as you mentioned, Steve, you know, they had good fortune with their health, but he was part of it. He was around it. He plays hard. The LA Kings thought so much of this guy that they tried to, they asked to have his name engraved on the Stanley Cup, although he did not meet the actual criteria for that. And they were successful. His name is on the Stanley Cup. So he goes to a Montreal team that is, Marc Bergevin has pieced together a lot of different things this year that have worked well, and I think this is another nice addition for the Canadiens. Back-end guy, number 6 defenseman, gives them depth, and they didn't have to give up a lot to get him.